again for the third time. You're getting a lot of camera time this morning. Elizabeth Reed, our interactive managing editor. Good morning. Okay, so earlier we talked about social media, men and women obviously using it more than men, and then we talked about how social media is helping the UAW workers as well. And now we're still talking about social media, but a little bit different though.
That's very true. Well, I think that we've talked about it a little bit this morning, but the Occupy Wall Street protests have come to Ohio, and actually today in Toledo at 11 a.m. There's supposed to be a group of protesters out supporting the cause. And so a little bit of, people are confused with what their demands are and what they are basically protesting. So I was kind of hoping to run through that and also talk about some of the political backlash that's going on with this. So, people who are maybe like going downtown and see these protesters like, what's going on?
Right,
so, the big part of their protest is they don't have a list of demands on their website, and they want to keep it kind of ambiguous because they want the ability for as many people to join as they can. And this is just quoting off their website. But a big part of what they want is protesting greed, corporate greed, and that's why they started in Wall Street, is they want the separation of politics and money. And they don't like that there's 1% with all the wealth and 99% of us are still struggling. And so it kind of started out as kind of a 200-person, it was a little bit of a smaller rally, and, even the Wall Street Journal was kind of making fun of it and saying it's a bunch of college kids who can't find jobs, who can't pay back their loans, and it was kind of an unfair assessment of what they were trying to accomplish. Fast forward almost a month, and now 10,000 people are in New York still every day with these protests, and now there's protests here in Ohio, there's protests pretty much across the nation and internationally. So, kind of the big story too today is that Herman Cain, one of the Republican contenders, he has basically called these Occupy Wall Street protesters jealous Americans who play the victim card.
Wow,
so
that's a strong statement.
That's some
there.
Loaded words. You know? He's trying to say that it was started by a bunch of union liberals who are trying to basically, I guess, kind of get the attention away from the Obama administration and their failures, this is quoting him, and put all the blame on the Republicans and conservatives and those with money. And actually it didn't start as anything political, liberal or conservative. Actually they were protesting Obama and his administration, their failure to actually do anything about these corporations. So it's kind of it'll be interesting to see today what these protesters are going to say in Toledo, and I'm sure we're going to have one of our reporters out there later. And I mean, you guys can tune in at home, and we'll try to give you the latest reports online and, of course, on the news at 6.
Okay, and I wanted to ask you earlier, I mentioned the story with John, and I didn't get a chance for you to weigh in about the story about the guy who was arrested after beating his wife over the dislike of, well, there's no dislike button, we know that, but he didn't like his wife's, or his status. His wife did not like his status that he posted on Facebook. Here's the thing, we see this so often with social media where people just take it to the next level. They try to read more into social networking than it really is. But that begs the question, do you think there should be a dislike button? I've always wondered that.
There was a plug-in for people to opt in to get the dislike button. I remember one of my roommates in college actually somehow managed to get this, and she took screenshots just to show how she could dislike. But I feel like with the drama of Facebook and social networking, that's only going to fuel the fire if we add a dislike button, because, God forbid, with cyberbullying and some of these teens out here getting all these dislikes on their statuses. So
yeah, that's so true.
Hopefully, I don't think it'll come to that point, and hopefully Mark Zuckerberg and all the people at Facebook kind of see that could be a dangerous type of thing to add to Facebook, when it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be about connecting with people and not so much about shutting people down, even if you don't agree with their views. So. And
lastly, Liz, I wanted to ask you about the iPhone 4S. We talked a little bit about this last week, and it is the big week on Friday.
It is.
John James has already said that he has placed his order online, I believe. Is that right, John?
No, I went into the store to do it.
Oh, he went into the store.
Friday morning.
Okay. He went into the store to do it on Friday morning, but pre-orders they have set records.
They're through the roof.
Unbelievable, right?
It is. I can't believe it. My boyfriend actually pre-ordered his I'm a little annoyed because I'm going back to Missouri this weekend for homecoming, and so he was going to pick me up at the airport. He's like, we have to stop back in my hometown so I can pick up my iPhone 4 or 4S because they're only pre-ordering to your house, or it's like the same billing address as your credit card or something stupid. So I'm like, oh, now I have to like detour my trip more. But I'm kind of excited to see his phone, obviously, and see if Siri is really all that it's made up to be. They keep releasing more YouTube videos about how it works, and it kind of gets me more excited inside about it too.
Yeah, here's the thing though with that program, we as a society, we use so much, I guess slang is what you can call it. Will it pick up on fine things like that?
I have no idea. I guess that would be a good thing to test if you could put if you could say, tell my friend LOL, if it'll actually write LOL, if it'll write laughing out loud or something like that. I don't know. It seems, it keeps getting cooler and cooler the more I look at it. I mean, it's, it seems like if you're driving, I mean, I don't like to text and drive because I can barely text and walk without getting in an accident.
Shouldn't do that.
The only thing that I find is kind of weird is you have to have like your little you have to have your earphones kind of plugged in. That could be dangerous if you have both of them obviously plugged in, so you could be talking in your phone. But I don't know. We'll see. My mom.
Friday's the big day.
Exactly. My mom's getting hers. My boyfriend's getting his, and I'm just waiting until my contract comes up. So.
I'm waiting for John James to do the testing
out. Yeah, we're waiting for John James
and
to
he
bring
said
it
he's
in.
going to do that and give us a little bit of a review there. And of course, we want to mention we have 3 Facebook story ideas for you on our Facebook page, facebook.com/NorthwestOhio. Weigh in and pick the one that you like the most, and Angie Gonzalez will bring you one of those stories tonight on WNWO News.